There ain't no rest for the wicked. Money don't grow on trees. We got bills to pay, we got mouths to feed. Ain't nothing in this world for free. I can't slow down, we can't hold back, though we wish we could. There ain't no rest for the wicked until we close our eyes for good.
Downloading pirated games? Or just looking at others buying games in Steam? Empty pockets, a common trait for us gamers. Valve chief Gabe Newell never fails in his strategy of attracting gamers into buying games, maybe old or new. Mostly, we gamers prefer to buy the fast released games as we are given doses of huge discounts, which we don't often get in the new ones. We have the records of waiting 3 to 4 years to buy a particular game in discount. So, today we are going to look at the 5 games which you may buy in this summer sale. Welcome friends, this is Ajoy and you are watching Overlord Brainstorm. Don't forget to hit the like icon and the subscribe button as it would motivate me to make more such videos for all of you. Suggest more of such videos which I should make in the comment section down below. Without further delay, I am blabbering all around with the promotion. The game we have in the 5th position is HOMEFRONT The Revolution. HOMEFRONT The Revolution is a first-person shooter video game developed by Dambuster Studios and published by Deep Silver for Microsoft Windows, PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Set in an open-world environment with many districts to explore, the player can scavenge for supplies to modify weapons and equipment. HOMEFRONT The Revolution is not a continuation of the original HOMEFRONT, but rather a reimagining of the premise. The story takes place in an alternate history setting in which the digital revolution of the 1970s took place in North Korea's Silicon River rather than the Silicon Valley of the Northern California. The game follows Ethan Brady, a new resistance member whose resistance cell is expecting a visit from Benjamin Walker, the voice of freedom and the leader of the national resistance against the KPA occupation. Despite the mixed reviews received by HOMEFRONT, THQ confirmed that a sequel to HOMEFRONT was in development. The developer of the previous installment, Chaos Studios, was closed by THQ in June 2011 as part of the corporate reorganization, while THQ originally stated that the future work on the franchise would be assumed by THQ's Montreal studio. It was later announced that the game would be developed by Crytek UK instead. So the game is made with the CryEngine, which makes it visually stunningly amazing looking big game to play. Though a lot of controversy and ratings to be unworthy, with this price of just Rs 182, I feel it is a good deal for anyone to buy this game and enjoy this story.
This is fucking awesome!
Is Borderlands The Handsome Collection. Borderlands The Handsome Collection is a compilation of the first-person shooter video games developed by Gearbox Software and published by 2K Games. The collection consists of both Borderlands 2 and the Borderlands the pre-sequel. Both games in the Handsome Collection feature remastered graphics and are completely capable of running at 1080p resolution at 60 frames per second when playing with 1 or 2 local players. The games are also capable of local split-screen multiplayer with up to 4 players rather than the 2-player limit of the previous generation versions. 4-player mode will reduce the frame rate to 30 frames per second. On March 28, 2019, Gearbox announced that a free patch would be released on April 3, 2019 to add 4K support for PlayStation 4 Pro and Xbox One X. Borderlands 2 is a role action playing first person shooter video game developed by Gearbox Software and published by 2K Games, and it is the second game in Borderlands series and the sequel to 2009's Borderlands. Well, don't worry, if you haven't played Borderlands ever before, you can still go for this game as you can always make out the details without playing the previous parts. The Borderlands pre-sequel is the third game to the Borderlands series and is set after 2009's Borderlands and before 2012's Borderlands 2. So playing the pre-sequel after playing the sequel always excites, as we intend to know more on what exactly happened before which led to the current situation. It's a common trait of most humans as we check the old WhatsApp messages to know more of the particular situation that got created, even though we have read the present message maybe after a day. Anyways, it's a very good deal at rupees 2,292. Next, at third, we have Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands. Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands, commonly referred to as the Ghost Recon Wildlands, is a tactical shooter video game developed by Ubisoft Paris and published by Ubisoft. Set in an open world environment and played from a third person perspective with an optional first person view for gun aiming, players play as members of the Delta Company, 1st Battalion, 5th Special Forces Group, also known as Ghosts, a fictional elite special operations units of the United States Army under the Joint Special Operations Command. The game takes place in Bolivia in July 2019. The country has been increasingly unstable as a Mexican drug cartel known as Santa Blanca Cartel gains more power and influence within the country and turns Bolivia into the world's largest producer of cocaine. The story is quite interesting, and this is the first time the Ghost Recon franchisee goes open world with the stunning landscapes and gameplay. As you would progress through different missions, you would reach to know more about the bosses of the cartel, eliminate them, and you would proceed further to the main boss, El Sueno. How the story ends depends on whether the ghosts fully dismantle the cartel. You would have two different endings based on the way you play the game. However, the way you play the game is infinite. You may go stealth or rogue, or in both ways you would enjoy killing the enemies. And trust me, this is a real tough game as enemies would come from everywhere and don't always rely upon the AI frames as they are confused guys with recon logic not getting detected even if they pass through an enemy. So, of course, it's a great game to get in this sale at just rupees 874.
Some are soldiers. We are ghosts.
Next, we have HELLBLADE: SENUA'S Sacrifice. It is a dark fantasy action adventure game developed and published by British video game development studio Ninja Theory. Very few games gets developed like this one, and it is a pure marvel. A story based on a belief of a curse and hearing voices commenting every actions. Set in the late 8th century, the game starts with Senua, a picked warrior from Orkney, arriving at the border of Helheim in the quest to save the soul of her dead lover Dillian from the goddess Hela. The game blends several genres, including hack and slash, puzzle solving, and psychological horror. Voice acting is an integral part of the game, while its cutscenes combine motion capture by Melina Vergans and live action performances by other actors. The most appealing moment is when you fail to defeat the enemies and you die. Your hand rots and it continues to spread the more you die in the game, until at last all the saves gets deleted and you have to play it all over again. If you prefer playing adventure games with a great story, it's just a perfect game for you to buy in this sale, which is just for rupees 364.
Dillian? Is that you? I'll find you, my love. I promise.
And finally, we have Kingdom Come Deliverance, one of the most satisfying, rewarding role playing experiences. It has a massive, realistic open world set during a war in Bohemia in 1403. Kingdom Come Deliverance is an action role playing game set in an open world environment and played from a first person perspective, which utilizes a classless role playing system, allowing the player to customize their skills to take on roles such as warrior, bard, thief, or their hybrids. Abilities and stats grow depending on what the player does and says through branched dialogue trees. It is based on how you interact with people and choices you make. Not much to say about this game, as it is a stunning RPG made with realistic sword fights which are really tough to get through, and the horse rides. However, the game looks amazing, created with CryEngine once again, which obviously makes it visually marvelous. If you have a lot of free time and wish to just roam around, then it would be a perfect game for you, as you could explore to discover more secrets and interact with more people as you progress through the game. A good deal for just rupees 419. However, I would suggest you buy the Royal version including all the DLCs at just rupees 782.
You didn't want me fighting. Now look at me. Standing up to evil isn't the same as sowing its seeds. You did what was right.
So that's all for today's video. Hope you liked it. If you wish to buy these games, I will have mentioned it in the description below. Please don't forget to like the video and share it among your friends. Stay tuned for more exciting upcoming streams.